Welcome back to the fourth episode of Krail's Corner. Me and Coach Krail back at it again. Tough previous week for the Wildcats, but looking forward and ahead into our homecoming game against Palo Alto. How do you feel about last week? Let's go to that first. Talk to me through the loss. It was a close game.
Sure. So last week was a crazy week. We were scheduled to play Live Oak, and they had an incident on their team, and so they had to cancel the game. So we kind of just very spur of the moment found a really good team from Sacramento, Grant High School, to come down and play. And wow, they were good. You know, they were a very athletic team. They had players all over the place that were fast and strong and physical, and yet, you know, we lost the game 22-21. But gosh, I was so proud of our guys, the battle that they put forth, and you know, we were in it until the very end, and just came up, you know, like that 1 point short. So tough game, but you know, I talked to the reporters after the game, and I said, you know, sometimes you learn more from a tough loss than you do from an easy win. And so, you know, we watched film on the weekend, and a lot to clean up, but also a lot of positive to take away from the game, and hopefully, you know, kind of build the momentum forward, you know, and not take a step back because of the score. It was more, you know, let's keep building and moving toward that league play that, you know, is our goal going forward. So,
not to shy away from the issue here. One of the big issues against the team, size. Talk me through the size disadvantage and how you guys work on combating that. These big guys that are just these mountains on the lines.
Yeah, you know, we face teams on occasion. We faced Valley Christian earlier, who's a very large team physically, and you know, when you face bigger guys, you really have to rely on your technique and your discipline, right? I mean, they want to do things to get you out of your rush lane, say, or they want to, you know, penetrate the backfield to blow up a running play, perhaps, or your pass protection. So you really, really have to hone in on footwork and hand placement, and you know, making every step count. The leverage that we play at has to be better, you know, because they're bigger, and if we try to go chest to chest with them, they're going to push us back. So you try to rely on those things, and just kind of a tenacious attitude as well. You know, when you're giving up size, you got to make up for it sometimes just in effort and tenacity, and so that's, you know, kind of what we preach during the week.
I've said it before, I'll say it again. You guys are a scrappy, tooth and nail style team. One thing you guys implemented different from last week's a lot of pre-snap motion. You guys had guys moving around all over the place. Jalen Thomas was pretty much flying from sideline to sideline most of the game. Why do you implement something like that against such a good opponent?
So it's pretty simple. Their defense had a strong side set of players and a weak side set of players, and so they're identifying our strength formation-wise, and once we line up, we can get them to declare one way, and then we flop a couple guys, and now you've got weak side guys playing on the strong side and side guys playing on the weak side. And oftentimes you get an advantage just because they're out of their comfort zone in terms of what they're doing. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds here, but
of course.
It's just to try to create a competitive advantage. You know, and I think we were able to do that on occasion. So.
That was one of the things you guys learned. Against good teams, we can move to some of this pre-snap motion. What are some other things you guys learned from this game? What are some things we can use going into playoffs later in the year against big teams?
You know, there's two things that we talk about all the time, and we're improving, but we have to get better. And that, number one, is assignment perfect, right? Just knowing exactly, no matter where the opponent aligns, because they can align anywhere, right? What is my assignment based on that? And then the next thing is just the execution of that assignment, right? But the first thing is I have to know where to step, who to block, say, on the offensive side, and, you know, and then I got to get after it, so to speak, right? So on the defensive side, it's gap integrity on the front line, right? It's not, you know, allowing them to push us out of the area that we're responsible for. So again, when you play good teams and we're giving up some size, you got to really dig in, especially on that defensive line. And they gave us some problems. You know, they were bigger, and they had some push, and you know, when the defensive line is getting pushed back, it's harder on the linebackers to see what's going on, assess, and then go make a play. So, you know, you kind of rely in layers, right? You've got the D-line, the linebackers, and then the secondary. And if the D-line is holding that line of scrimmage intact and keeping guys off your linebackers, then they can just run and make plays. And that's ideally what you want to do, you know.
So you're making a great point here. You're making it sound like our team's been battle tested, so to speak. In your post game, you were talking to the team about that. You guys are better as a team now coming out of this game than going into it. Do you expect that to translate into this Palo Alto game? Do you expect it to be better and reach for?
God, I hope so. Yeah.
Sure.
A season is in parts, right? You've got the preseason, you've got league play, and you've got the playoffs, right? So your preseason, you're trying to get better each and every week, and we have 5 non-league games before we start league. So ideally, your team should get better each and every week because you're cleaning up the mistakes. But I think the value of playing a Grant is the level of competition, right? And we've got a good Palo Alto team next week, and then the following week we're off, but then we play Pittsburgh, who's one of the best teams in Northern California. So, our goal is that playing these tough teams will allow us to struggle a little bit, get better, along the way, and then when we hit league play, we're seasoned, we're hardened, if you will. Of course. So
So what can we expect from this Palo Alto team? How can we expect them to challenge us?
Yeah.
How can we expect them to come in and
size-wise, they have a couple big guys. They have one lineman that's being recruited. He's got some Power 5 offers. He's a nice player. They're super well coached. They're going to play aggressively, on the defensive side. So again, for us, it's just doing what we do. That's the thing that I always go back to. It's not really about them. It's about us. But that being said, looking forward, their offense is good. They have a nice receiver, pretty good little running back, quarterback moves around pretty well. So we're going to have to kind of contain him. And I think the advantage maybe that we have is the team that we played Liberty a couple weeks ago and then Grant this last week play a super fast brand of football.
Sure.
And so I think we're kind of used to that. I don't think Palo Alto is going to bring that speed aspect to the game.
Yeah.
So my hope is that we will continue to play at a level that we're happy with. And, I told the guys, if they can join the party, then let's go. If not, then we should have success.
Well, Coach, it's been a really exciting past couple weeks seeing the team grow and grow. These last couple games have just gotten better and better and better.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to Palo Alto. Looking forward to have you on next week. Going into a bye week, we'll talk about some positional movement going into that bye week. 2 episodes from now, we'll talk about Pittsburgh, and that's going to be truly a lot of fun.
Yeah,
really excited for the
great.
next couple weeks.
Awesome.
All right. See you guys on the next episode. We really appreciate you coming on. This is Coach Krail, Matt Ford. See you guys.